What is the stupidest thing you've done just to show you could do it?
In grade school, maybe age 11 or 12, I had these cheap jeans. I figured out that I could flex my belly and pop the button open, found this funny, and guy friends in class got a laugh too. One of them turns to a girl, "Hey girl, check out what top can do." I flexed my belly and let out a huge fart while the button popped open. She turned away, my buddy laughed, and I never did this trick again. A buddy bet I couldn't finish the spiciest chicken sandwich at this joint known for insanely spicy chicken in under 30 minutes. I knew I fucked up when they gave me gloves to eat the sandwich so the sauce couldn't touch my skin and made me sign a waiver. Won the bet, but really I lost in the end. In 2001, my sister got me a Sony phone, a tiny little thing with a flip-down front. She worked in a phone shop and got discount. On the box, it said the phone was waterproof and there were tiny rubber seals in places. I believed them. At the pub where I worked, this aspect came up in conversation. Some guy said the phone couldn't be waterproof, and that shower-proof was probably more accurate. Remembering the box, I argued the point. And dropped my phone into a pint of beer in an effort to prove it. I was wrong. Brutal but well-earned life lesson. Shoved my pointer finger into my nose up to second knuckle. I then got a sinus infection. Who knew? Cliff diving, saw a old man do a front flip off a 40-foot cliff. I said if he can do it, so can I. I did the flip all right, followed by a belly flop that Zeus could hear. Knocked the air out of me, but luckily people were floating nearby to save my dumb ass. I got married. I compare it to the craziest amusement park ride I ever rode. It was fun, scary, exciting. But never again. It was stupid because I knew better and I did it anyway. It was a ride for all the years. I wouldn't change it. Sorry, Redditors, that my answer wasn't me eating something crazy. Taking a chance on someone is just as crazy though. When I was younger, me and my cousin were playing outside. He bet me $10 I wouldn't go over to this black bear rummaging in a bun across the street, so I did it and he said to scream at it. I did it, and let's just say if the neighbor didn't have a blank-started pistol I would have lost my life. Went to that bar in Vegas that's made of ice. Probably called something clever like the Ice Bar. But I can't remember. The tables are made of a type of dry ice. My friend and I bet to see who could hold their hand on it the longest. I won. My eye totally got burned in the end. Literally and figuratively. I have always been a night owl and often stay up for a whole week. It actually started when I was about 12-13, where one of my friends said it was impossible to stay up for a whole week even if there's school. And I responded that I could. He said that there was no way I could do that. So the next week, he got every half-hour a message from me that I'm awake. There's a frisbee that's large and has a giant hole in the middle about a foot wide, so it's more like a hoop. My brother and I were playing catch with a football. He lofted one up for me to catch. I was holding the frisbee and jumped up and held out the hoop to make the football go right through it. And the football hit me right in the face. Did not think that one through. When I was in elementary school talking with a friend, I had a strange thought: if you took one foot and kicked the other foot out, you'd fall over. I explained this to that friend, then promptly demonstrated. All in one fell swoop. I don't recall ever feeling any significant pain from doing that. I made my own entertainment center at home that was a bit too large for my living room. My roommate didn't believe I could fit inside, so I bet him $5 I could, and climbed right in. He was able to close the door, meaning I win, so he handed me the money through the slot. Little did I know. He stuck a hockey stick through the handle of the door and locked me in. Months later we decide to sell the entertainment center, much to my dismay. A buyer seemed interested but didn't believe a full-sized man could ever fit inside. I told him my roommate had thought the same thing, and locked me inside. but I said I would prove it to him so he could see just how amazing this piece of craftsmanship really is. Of course. He locked me in as well using the same method as my roommate. Luckily he agreed not to steal our lounger chairs from our apartment and only non-essentials. He lied. I'm a retired cheerleader. I wanted to show my friends and boyfriend that I could still do a back handspring. We were at a friend's basketball game, so I guess I was inspired. Welp. Bad move. I went for my back handspring despite not doing it in over 5 years. I ended up spraining my elbow and collarbone. I didn't tell anyone I hurt myself. I just brushed it off while tears were starting to well up. My boyfriend could tell something was wrong. When we exited, he said, "You hurt yourself, didn't you?" I burst out crying and ended up going to the ER. Giving birth to an enormous first baby without any form of pain relief, just to prove to myself that I'm not a wimp. No pain help with the second kid either, 100% because I needed to confirm I hadn't just gotten off easy the first time and that I could even handle a pitocin-assisted birth. I think at the time I hoped it would make me feel like a badass, but looking back on it now it honestly just makes me feel like a sadistic moron. I swam all the way to a boat and touched it just to piss off my dad, but then I got caught by a scuba diver and put in a dentist office all the way in Sydney. Then my dad, a dumb blue lady, a pelican, and a bunch of other people escaped the dentist office and I made it back home safely. For background, I'm introvert, and a man of few words. When I was in med school I used to go to parties once in a while, not often, but I didn't want to feel like a total outcast. In the dorms where I lived, because of my introvertism, I was considered shy. So during one party some half-drunk female students tried to tease me. Fun is fun, but listening to their jokes got boring after 20 minutes and wanted it to stop. Instead of saying something I got up from the couch, and pulled my pants, and underwear, down in the middle of the room. No, I was not drunk or on drugs. I asked them, "You really think I'm shy?" Music stopped, conversations stopped, like in cheesy movies. They just stared at me. My job there was done, so I pulled up my pants and went to my room. Some didn't believe I was sober, others thought I'm creepy and started to avoid me, some were discussing my size and shape down there, but, at least, the shy talk stopped. I jumped full naked in Iceland water in the middle of nowhere without any towel, heater or clothes to change. Just to impress the girl I wanted to bang in that duo trip. I suffered a lot that day, couldn't feel my feet and my hands were pain for a whole night. P.S. We kissed mad that night for the first time, and we banged 2 days later. Worth it. They say one pilot changing the world is just movie stuff like in Star Wars 4. I told them enough, for I will prove they were wrong all along. Still they didn't believe me. One morning, I commandeered a plane and did a sneaky maneuver into a random skyscraper, pun intended, to change the world. And change the world I had done. I walked into the gas station once, walked straight to the beer cooler, grabbed a case of beer and just walked out of the store with it. A friend said that there was no way I could and that I didn't have the balls, so I had to prove him wrong. You should have seen the look on that punk bitch's face when I walked out with the beer. There's a few things that I want to make clear. It wasn't cool and I definitely would have gotten in a lot of trouble, but back then I was stupid and I didn't care. The first time I rolled down some stairs on my wheelchair. I was like 15. Turns out there's certain heights, separation and wideness where it is safely possible to do it. That was not one of those times and my face ended up on the pavement. Got my wisdom teeth taken out without Novocaine. My sister got hers out a few months prior, and opted to be knocked out with anesthesia. I said that it can't be that bad that you need to be unconscious, and one thing led to another and I was too stubborn to back down from the challenge. I found myself in the chair with no painkillers just to try and prove that it wasn't that bad. I was already a little tipsy from drinking at my brother's rehearsal dinner before his wedding. We went back to my parents' house to continue drinking and party. I had been drinking rum and coke while my parents and husband did a shot of Fireball. Well, apparently the way I looked at the bottle of rum, my dad says you could do it. I took that as a challenge of him saying I couldn't. So we took out a wine glass meant for like dessert wines or Baileys and filled that sucker up, so more than just a normal shot's worth, and I took a shot of straight Bacardi. It was awful.